Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Julio Capo, and let's queer up religion. The Pope and Vatican says gay men can be trained for priesthood. With the Pope's approval, the Vatican has unveiled updated guidelines for gay men pursuing the priesthood, and it is emphasizing celibacy as the central goal. The Italian Bishops' Conference clarified that while the Church respects LGBTQ individuals, sexually active gay men remain barred from seminaries. The organization noted, quote, "In the formative process, when reference is made to homosexual tendencies, it is appropriate not to reduce discernment to this aspect alone. The objective of the training for priesthood in the emotional sexual sphere is the ability to welcome chastity and celibacy as a gift, to freely choose and to responsibly live it," end quote. This guidance follows Pope Francis's controversial use of the term frociaggine last May, translated to faggotry, which he later apologized for, explaining he never intended offense. Francis has long expressed progressive views. He famously asked, quote, "Who am I to judge?" when asked about gay priests early in his papacy. He also has denounced anti-queer laws and supported blessings for same-sex couples. In 2025, the Vatican will host its first queer pilgrimage during the Holy Jubilee Year, titled Church, Home for All. The event aims to welcome queer Christians and allies to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. While mixed messages persist, the Church's evolving stance reflects a cautious but notable shift towards inclusivity. How was my Italian there?
It was, hai fatto proprio bene.
I was very anxious about reading a word in Italian. Thank you for just reading me. I have to. The story gives me, as a fallen Catholic, I find myself very torn by the story because there's so much to. I don't ever want to be like Debbie Downer all the time, and there's like I'm happy to see this progress, and I do think that this is progress, and we celebrate progress, and also. It's not very progressive. It still feels very behind to me, and to the idea that it's so conditional and so layered, and so it's. But also, I love the way that people can imagine there are so many ways to be gay, right? And I think that's also a kind of message in the story, right? That is to imagine celibacy as and homosexuality as separate, which of course can exist, and I think for so many people that is almost an image that they don't imagine or something.
Well, it's interesting because the Episcopal Church came out of the Catholic Church because Henry VIII wanted to get a divorce.
Right.
So he created the Church of England, which is essentially Catholic light. So, theoretically, Catholic priests are celibate, and they take that oath to be celibate. However, if you choose to be Catholic light or Episcopalian, you don't have to have that celibacy. So I feel this is a really good step forward for the Catholic Church because it's saying the same thing that it says for all priests, but as we know, many of the priests, break that vow of celibacy. But I do think that this really, for gay Catholics who are devout, I think this
it's a big message.
Is a really, really big message.
Yeah.
And I think the Catholic Church should be commended for it.
I feel like with three women at the table, that to ask the Catholic Church as being progressive by accepting now gay men, but not women can't be priests. Like you didn't jump ahead of gay men. I as a fallen Catholic as well, I would say I would be even more shocked by that. That's that they're never going to allow women to be priests. That's the most like. Backward, policy, I would say, because again, I can see that the LGBTQ community might be less embraced by the Catholic Church, but women are still a second-class citizen.
So let's face it, that means we still don't have a 100% cure or remedy for those that were raised Catholic that are LGBTQ and feel so torn by that. This is not an answer to that.
No.
This is
well said.
Well, it is a step in the right direction.
I don't want to diminish that.
I do think, Jeff, you said never. I would not use the word never, because I never thought that same-sex marriage would be legal. I never thought that the Pope would make a statement like this. I grew up in the Episcopal Church. I never thought that women would be able to be priests in the Episcopal Church.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's slow, but...
Too slow for my taste.
Well, I mean, it's progress. You're talking about an ancient organization that is deep. I mean, you're Italian, so it's
and
right
I have
there.
to say kudos to the church for embracing el amore e l'amore. Love is love, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And at least embracing that. I don't know, we have to look at progress.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, this was not at the forefront. So there is some progress, and you know, progress has its kinks. Excuse the pun. It's correct. It's correct to say it that way. But you know,
has a little kink too.
Of course,
right
it
both
does.
ways.
I know I'm being very punny
Definitely.
today, but you know, but I mean, we have to at least say they're making an effort, and I mean that's a big deal, you know, to embrace same-sex couples and marriage. I mean, it's huge. I grew up Catholic, and it was not cute, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is big.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.